Hey there, I'm Lucas, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. I started my tomato growing journey back in 2012, and man, it seems like a long time ago, over a decade. And as I think about that first step towards growing my first tomatoes, I realized that I really didn't know what I was doing. I had watched, tons of YouTube videos on how to grow tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, all these different types of vegetables that I was interested in growing, but I didn't have any experience. And there was so much mixed information out there on the internet. So year one for me was definitely a learning curve. And when I was planting out, I remember everything seemed to go so smoothly, right? I planted out my plants. I was really excited. It was actually a little later than usual. It was probably at least 4 weeks after my last frost date. And the tomatoes that season did okay, but definitely not great. And what I realized after that first year, and in the years following that, is that planting and having a structure, a vision for your garden is so important, right? Because it really does begin with the end in mind. If you're looking for a great harvest, if you just want to plant something and have fun, go for it. You don't really need to know what you're doing. But if you want to harvest big, huge, piles of juicy tomatoes, you really do need to begin with the end in mind. So in this video, as we're into spring now, it's May 22nd here in Ontario, I wanted to share some of my thoughts, my ideas, and my experiences planting out tomatoes, and how I kind of head off the season at the start to ensure that I'm getting some really top-notch production out of my small space garden. I'm here. This is the front yard. You can see I've got a couple raised beds here behind me. I have one off to the side that you can't see there. But this is really where it kind of all starts, and where the garden really starts at the end of the day is in here, right? It's the vision, the idea you have for your garden. And when you're planting out, it's about taking that idea and planting and organizing your garden in such a way that idea comes to fruition. So first off, you got to start with really top-notch varieties. My first year, I was planting heirlooms. And for those of you who don't know, heirloom tomatoes, they're kind of these old, tomato varieties that have been around for generations. Maybe your grandpa grew some big tomato and he saved the seeds and he passed it down to his kids, who passed it down to you. Or maybe you just got a pack of heirloom seeds from the grocery store like I did. But either way, these varieties are really tasty, right? Great fruit, great flavor. The issue is they're typically not very productive and not very resilient. And that's what I found my first year growing bush beefsteak tomatoes. So starting out with some really high quality hybrid varieties is what I recommend. You can find so many great varieties through local seed catalogs, order online. I find that the ones that they sell, the plants they sell at nurseries, are typically fairly basic, fairly generic, your Better Boys, your Romas. And even though some of these varieties are hybrids, I find they're not that great in terms of production. So really the first step is to assess your local climate. So here in Ontario, we have a pretty moderate, kind of temperate, cooler climate. Some days in the summer it does get pretty hot, but in general, relatively moderate temperatures. So I'm typically looking for varieties that mature in a shorter period of time, right? So instead of getting a tomato that matures in 80 days, I might be looking for something that is ready for harvest in, say, 60 days or 55 days. So it's getting yourself thinking about these features, these attributes you want in your tomato garden that are going to really set you up for success from day one, from planting day. So get out there, do a bit of research, and figure out what kind of varieties you want. Again, I suggest hybrids specifically because they're bred for higher production, disease resistance, pest resilience, all these different factors that really help you grow a more productive and healthy garden in the end, right? You want to stack your wins from day one, and like I mentioned, that comes with choosing the right variety. And actually, I put together it's a list of my favorite varieties that I've grown over the past 14 years now, and you can grab that through the link in my description. You just have to sign up with your email and I'll send you the file instantly. You can unsubscribe at any time, but if you're interested in that, feel free to check it out. It's completely free. But let's get on with the video. So starting out with a great varieties is really step number one. Now, a big mistake I see a lot of gardeners make is, planting too early. So last weekend was Victoria Long Weekend here in Ontario, which basically just means we get Monday off. So for us working folks, it's a 3-day weekend. A lot of people get super excited. The weather was beautiful, pretty warm last weekend, and so a lot of people planted tomatoes, which I don't think was ideal, but people get excited and they do it anyway. The reason it's not ideal to plant tomatoes early is because, number one, you're running the risk of frost, and frost can very easily just wipe out your tomato seedlings before they have time to grow into bigger plants. The second reason is that even if you don't get frost, your plants will just kind of sit there sulking in the garden because temperatures are typically cooler the earlier you plant, right? So for me, my last frost date is May 24th, or it might even be earlier. Okay, let's say it's around May 18th to May 23rd. Okay, so May 22nd today, as you can see, I've got nothing in the ground yet. My tomato seedlings are out of frame there, and I plan on planting them in early June. So I always like to err on the side of caution and planting my tomatoes later than normal. So that was a quick interruption from my mom, but yeah, I always like to plant my tomatoes later. Number one, to avoid frost, and number two, there's really no benefit to planting out early because, again, your plants will just kind of sit there. They won't look very happy, and they won't really start growing until they start to get some warmer roots, some warmer soil, and those more consistent, warmer nighttime temperatures. And so I would say, in general, as a general rule of thumb, aim to plant your tomatoes out around 1 to 2 weeks after your last frost date in your area. So for me, again, my last frost is around, maybe around May 20th. I'll be planting early June. And that will give my plants more than enough time to really start to take off and to produce well into the season. A lot of people worry that, if I plant my plants a little later, they won't produce as much. The fruits won't all ripen. But again, I found that 1 or 2 weeks, it's not worth the risk. It's not worth the stagnancy. And in the end, you should get great results if you wait a little bit longer to plant out. What else can I say about planting tomatoes? Well, I think a big part of it is having the right soil. Well, I know it's a big part of it. Having the right soil is so important, right? So when you're going and you're painting a house, painting a room in a house, you're not just going to go in with a bucket of paint and just slap some paint on the walls. You're going to prepare, right? You're going to sand the walls. I don't really know what people do. I've never personally painted a wall. But there's a lot of stuff you have to do. You have to put painter on the trim. The point I'm trying to make here is that you can't just go out and plant your tomatoes without first preparing your site, right? And what does that look like? Well, that looks like amending your soil with natural ingredients like composted manure, leaf mold compost, adding in some amendments like bone meal, blood meal, feather meal. There's all these different items you can add to your soil. And I'm not going to cover that explicitly here, but if that's something you're interested in, you can also check out my A to Z garden guide, it's called Yard Food. It's basically everything that I've learned over my last 14 years of growing food at home, and I've kind of condensed it down into this very actionable guide that you can use to learn how to grow your own fruit from start to finish based on my own experience. So it's all my own ideas, no fluff from the internet, just stuff that works, stuff that I've done. So if you're interested, you could also check that out through the link in the description. But starting out and just really giving your plants a good solid foundation in which to grow is so important. Soil is important, but what's also important is picking a site that has full sun. So you can see here, very sunny. I've got around, I would say around 7 to 8 hours of sun here in this spot. But ideally, maybe I would say anywhere from 7 to 10 hours is perfect for tomatoes. They definitely need full sun. As soon as you put them in shade, they're just going to, they're not going to produce as much. I've seen it firsthand where I used to grow plants back in my backyard and they didn't produce as much. Now I've got them in the front yard and they give me just so many tomatoes, it's unbelievable. So sunlight is a huge factor. It's a factor that unfortunately, we can't always control, right? Sometimes we don't have full sun in our yards. Depending on where you live, you might have a smaller yard. There might be a tree in the way, but in a perfect world, you'll pick a site that has full sun. And so you've got your soil, you've got your sun. These are the two kind of big ingredients to getting your tomato plants off to a fantastic start, where they're just going to produce like unreal amounts of tomatoes, right? So once you got your site prepared, you've got your... I always like to plant my tomatoes deeper in the ground. So what that means is instead of planting at the soil line, with the container, like at the top, I'll actually pick off a few of the leaf branches up to, I'll probably leave the top third of the plant and I'll plant the bottom 2/3 of stem actually under the soil. And this is pretty common knowledge in the tomato world, but tomatoes develop roots along their stem. So they have these little auxiliary, yes, I can speak. Auxiliary roots that protrude out of the stem. And so any of those little hairs you see along the tomato stem, those can actually develop into roots. So it's pretty cool. But what this does is it creates a more robust, healthy plant that's able to pick up more nutrients, right? If you have a healthy root structure, that plant is going to be able to absorb more nutrients, more water, facilitate better flow of water and nutrients, which is ultimately going to lead to a more productive plant, right? It's simple science. I'm not a biology teacher, not going to get into the nitty gritty here because quite honestly, that's kind of above my pay grade. But what I do know is that more roots generally equals more fruits. So plant your tomatoes deeper, water them in well by hand. For the first couple weeks, I like to water my plants, I would say pretty much every couple days unless it rains, because they're so young, they need to establish themselves. When they get larger, you want to water less frequently. And if you want, you can check out my previous video where I talk about watering tomato plants and how I recommend using irrigation systems if you can. But water frequently the first couple weeks just to get those plants established. In terms of fertilizer, when you're planting out tomatoes, I like to give them a good shot of kind of diluted, maybe half strength fertilizer that's high in phosphorus to start. So when I'm planting out, I'll just grab myself some 15-30-15 bloom booster. I'll mix it in with some water at half strength and I'll just pour that on to help facilitate root growth, because phosphorus is one of the elements, one of the nutrients that tomatoes need for solid root foundation. And you don't have to use 15-30-15. And by the way, when I say that, what I mean is that's the ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, right? So on any fertilizer package, you should see 3 numbers. Usually they're separated by hyphens, and those are those 3 macronutrients. Nitrogen is mostly for leaf growth, phosphorus is for root and fruit growth, and potassium is kind of an all-around nutrient that facilitates growth of the entire plant. Nitrogen is something that a lot of people don't really get. They put a lot of nitrogen on their tomatoes typically, and that often ends up with these massive plants full of leaves. I used to do this. I did this probably for the first 3 or 4 years until I realized that it was actually destroying my harvest. Like I wasn't getting many tomatoes, even though I had these massive lush plants. Like I remember, my neighbors and people would pass by and they'd be like, "Wow, your garden looks so healthy." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it is healthy, but is it actually producing what I want it to produce? And the answer was no, because that first number, that nitrogen, was far too high relative to phosphorus and potassium. So my rule of thumb when planting tomatoes, or just fertilizing tomatoes and fruiting plants in general, is that first number should never be the highest in that ratio. If it is, you've got some problems, and you're probably going to get a very healthy, massive bush, but at the expense of fruiting. So a nice kind of diluted fertilizer when you're planting out is great, but don't overdo it, because your plants are young, their roots are young, they're delicate, they're not established yet. You don't need to be giving them full strength. Just give them a bit of food to get them started and to get those roots kind of bustling out there. So with fertilizer, yes, it's cool. What else can I say when planting tomatoes? I did not rehearse this video at all, as you could probably already tell. I just felt like, just got off of work, let's go out, make a video and talk about tomatoes, because it's tomato season, it's tomato time, and so many people are just thinking about tomatoes. I know I am, like every day, every minute, I'm just like, tomato, 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 tomato. I'm kidding. I don't really have a tomato obsession, but if anyone, had a tomato obsession, it would probably be me. I think most people who know me would associate tomatoes with me. Just Lucas, the tomato guy. Anyway, you've planted out your tomatoes. I often like to put down some form of mulch, whether that be, wood chips or black plastic. I find black plastic mulch works great for tomatoes, especially if you're not like super environmentally conscious. But if you are, you could always use an organic mulch. And what this does is first of all, it just kind of prevents the roots from getting too disturbed when you have these massive rainfalls. So if you have your soil exposed like this and you have a storm, what that can do is it can really pelt down on the soil and disturb your delicate roots. Another thing it does is it prevents soil splash. So soil splash is it's very simple. It's just when water basically pelts down on your soil and it splashes back up and you get this like mud caked under the leaves. That's actually not good for tomato plants, because that can lead to a lot of problems, a lot of fungal diseases. Fungal diseases are the main thing. You can you can get blight, early blight. What else? Verticillium wilt. Basically, water and mud on tomato leaves is always bad news. So you want to try to keep your tomato leaves clean and dry as best as possible. And watering low, keeping your watering low to the ground, avoiding water or soil splash onto those leaves is going to help you out. Mulch is also going to help warm the soil faster. If it's black mulch, if it's black plastic, it will. If it's something like straw or leaves, that'll actually keep the soil cooler. So that might be more helpful if you live in a very hot climate, like say, Texas, Florida. You might want to go with some sort of organic mulch that's going to help preserve some of that warmth, but at the same time preventing it from getting too hot. So at that point, your tomatoes are in the ground, and it's just a matter of time before they start to bush out and to really develop into stronger plants. So I hope you found some of these tips helpful. I know this video was a little unorganized, just me spitballing on tomato planting stuff, but actually there's a pizza in my house that I have to go consume right now, so I'm gonna head in and do that. But go plant your tomatoes. Let's see what you can do this year, and follow along for more tomato growing tips. I am going to be planting my tomatoes likely this next week, and I'm really excited about sharing my journey this year. So I hope you stick along for the ride, and as always, grow it best.